What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the WNBA Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we had another big trade in the WNBA as Satou Sabally has been traded to the Phoenix Mercury, and I absolutely love this trade for the Mercury because they now have 3 of the top 15 players in the league with Kahleah Copper, Alyssa Thomas, and Satou Sabally. And you look at the size and versatility that they have in this front court, I mean, it's insane. You have Kahleah Copper, who's 6'2", Alyssa Thomas, who's also 6'2", and now you insert Satou Sabally, who's 6'4". So they have a lot of size, a lot of length, a lot of versatility. They have 3 players, y'all, that can play and guard multiple positions. And we know they call Satou Sabally a unicorn. Why? Because she's 6'4", but she moves like she's 5'10", y'all. I mean, she's super quick. She's a very good perimeter defender. She's a good three-point shooter. She's a solid passer. And now you have a jumbo lineup of her, Kahleah Copper, and Alyssa Thomas on that perimeter. I mean, yeah, this is going to be one of the best big threes in the WNBA. And I think the Phoenix Mercury have kind of rebranded their identity because we know this is a team that's been known for their scoring, obviously having players like Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. But now, y'all, they're going to be known for their defense because Kahleah Copper, Alyssa Thomas, and Satou Sabally, 3 of the better perimeter defenders in the league. So I cannot wait to see what they do. Now, we have to see if DT is going to come back or not. We know there's been speculation that she might retire. But if DT comes back, y'all, this team looks like they're going to be a championship contender. I mean, again, they have 3 of the top 15 players in the league that's all in their prime still, right? All of these players are still incredibly young, too. So I just love this trade for the Mercury. They didn't give up too much. And also, y'all, they were able to acquire Kalani Brown in this deal, who's going to be a solid backup center for them. Now, I hope she won't have to be their starting center. Obviously, we know Brittany Griner signed with the Atlanta Dream. So I think the Mercury still need to go out and try to find another center to add with Kalani Brown. But she's going to be a nice center for them off the bench. So this was just a great trade for the Phoenix Mercury. Now we move on to the Fever. And they acquired Sophie Cunningham and the 19th pick in this trade. And this is exactly what they needed. Sophie Cunningham is a 3-and-D wing that plays with a lot of intensity. We know she's one of the toughest players in the league, and she is not afraid to challenge anyone. And this is something that the Fever lacked last year because last year they were a great scoring team, but they didn't have the defense, particularly the perimeter defense and the toughness to be a legitimate contender. But now they just added one of the better 3-and-D players in the league. And y'all, it is great to have 3-and-D players on your team because if you can have a player that can shoot threes and play good defense, they are going to tremendously help your team out. And that's what Sophie Cunningham is going to do. I think, y'all, because of her, you're going to see this Fever team become a better defensive team. Don't be surprised if Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, they become better defenders because I think Sophie Cunningham is a contagious player, y'all. I mean, if you see the way she plays, man, the intensity that she brings to the floor, it's going to make you want to play even harder. So I really love this trade for the Indiana Fever. And y'all getting that 19th pick. Now, I know it's going to sound like, oh, the 19th pick is not that high of a draft pick. But, y'all, this draft class is very deep. And I think the Fever are going to be able to add a solid, impactful player to their roster with that 19th pick. You know, it could be another 3-and-D guard. It could be maybe some more depth at that center spot. But I love this trade for them. Again, get one of the better 3-and-D players in the league and getting a solid draft pick. This is really going to help out the Fever, y'all. And, man, this team looks like they're going to be legit contenders in 2025. And finally, we get to the Wings. And they acquired Ty Harris and Alyssa Smith, Kiki Herbert-Harrigan, and the number 8 pick, which they then flipped to the Connecticut Sun for Dejanay Carrington at the 12th pick. And the Wings are banking on Alyssa Smith reaching her potential. Because if she reaches her potential, she's going to be a very good player in this league. But if she plays the way she did last year, she's going to be a role player in this league. And that is not what they need. Y'all, the Wings just traded away Satou Sabally, a player that's an established star in this league, right? And now you're getting back a player in Alyssa Smith that you don't know what you might get. I mean, last year, y'all, I thought she was very inconsistent. I thought defensively she did not try her hardest. I thought there were times on the floor where she looked like a daisical. Now, her first 2 years in the league, she played motivated. She looked like a future star. But are we going to get that same Alyssa Smith? Or are we going to get the Alyssa Smith of last year? And for the Dallas Wings, y'all, they already have one of the best players in the league on their roster in Enrique Iguodala. You want to make sure you're surrounding her with elite talent. Because if not, y'all, she's going to get fed up. And what's going to happen? She's going to request a trade, right? And you don't want that to happen because Enrique is a generational player. She is a top 5 player in the WNBA. And you want to make sure you keep her happy. With this trade, y'all, I know she cannot be that happy. Now, I will say this. Ty Harris is a solid point guard. She is. She's a really good three-point shooter. She's also a solid defender, and she can initiate the offense. But she's not a star, okay? Ty is solid, but she's not one of the best point guards in the league. And again, y'all, Alyssa Smith is just too inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from her on a game-in, game-out basis. And Enrique went from having Satou, Sabally, and Natasha Howard on her team to now having Ty Harris, Nalissa Smith, Dejanay Carrington, Maddie Seegers, and Tierra McCollum. Oh, and by the way, y'all, to acquire Dejanay, they had to give up J.C. Sheldon. We know J.C. Sheldon had a very good rookie campaign. She looked like she's going to be a nice 3-and-D point guard in this league for years to come. So that's what they gave up to get Dejanay Carrington. So there's no way Enrique can be happy right now. Y'all, look at this roster that she has. I'm not saying some of those players I just listed aren't solid players, but none of them are stars, y'all. None of them are game changers. And that's what Enrique needed. She had that with Satou. She had that with a Natasha Howard. Now she no longer has that. So let's see what the Wings are going to do, y'all. Obviously, we all know that they have the number 1 pick in this upcoming draft, which means they will be able to select Paige Beckers. But just Paige and Enrique is not going to make this team a championship contender. I don't even know what's going to make them a playoff team, because this league is very loaded, y'all. These teams are getting better, and better. I think the Sparks are going to be better than the Wings this coming up season. Why? Because now they have Kelsey Plum, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink, and De'Ara Hamby on their team. Now, I just think they're a better team than the Dallas Wings are right now. So let's see what the Dallas Wings are able to do. But they have to add more pieces, y'all. They got to add more pieces around Enrique Ogunbowale. She is a superstar player in this league, and they got to make sure to keep her happy. But this was another big trade in the WNBA, y'all. This has been one of the craziest offseasons in WNBA history. I mean, Brittany Griner goes to the Atlanta Dream. Kelsey Plum and Jewel Lloyd get traded. And then now you have Satou Sabally getting traded, y'all. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Mercury are going to come out as the winners of this trade. Remember, y'all, that's a good message and what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.